Hello and welcome to this 12 Spiritual Gift Masterclass. In this masterclass, we'll be discovering the 12 spiritual gifts that exist universally, that are gifts from God, so that you could discover what your gift is, so that you could derive purpose from it and give it as a gift to the world and change the world from within. So, this will help you connect to the divine, to help you gain awareness, to activate your gifts, and then to live in alignment with those gifts. I'm your host, Holly. If you don't know me, I'm a shaman, I'm an intuitive development coach, and I coach intuitive empaths how to harness their gifts so that they can live a life of purpose, ease, and fulfillment. And so, this is what I hope to achieve in this masterclass is that you can get in connection with yourself and your divine, your gifts, and then give those gifts to the world and share them with the world because that's what you were here to do. This is why God created you and why God gave you your unique gifts. So I hope to help you activate these gifts in this masterclass. I'm so excited to dive in. I just want to set the environment, make this a very sacred type of activation. This isn't just like a masterclass where you're just gaining a bunch of information. This is going to help you connect to something divine, a higher power. This is sacred work. So I just want to honor that so that we could set the scene, set the environment, and really tune into our wisdom and ourselves and God. And so I'm thankful to have you here. I just want to take a minute to just collect and ground ourselves in our body and in the present moment and just bring it home. Just bring it all home. Center yourself, check in with your body, release any tension. I hope that you are in a space where this is conducive to learning so that you have minimal distractions and disruptions and you could really honor your time during this activation. I just want to note that this is a denominational or dogma based type of learning. This is not religion centered. This is about divine identity and spiritual function. So I want to frame this. Gifts are not for the ego or for status. They are sacred assignments meant to serve the body and bring God glory so that you could be a testament of His will and His grace and His love. So just take a second to just relax. And if you're not in a room where you have minimal disruptions, now would be a good time to go there. You pause this video and come back to it when you're all set. You could feel free to take notes if you want. I'm thinking it'll help you, and then you could reflect on the notes that you take because there will be a reflection piece at the end of this training. So, what are spiritual gifts? Spiritual gifts are divine endowments given by God for the edification of others and fulfillment of purpose, to create heaven on earth, to share these gifts with the collective to make it better, and that you as an individual have infinite potential. And your purpose is to live by God's will, to share your gifts with the world and make it a better place. These aren't talents or skills, but supernatural graces. Everyone has at least one gift or many. You could even have all 12. And it doesn't mean that if you don't have strength in others, that you can't develop that strength. You have God within you, therefore you are capable of any gift that you want to hold and share with others. If you feel called to it, that is God telling you it's for you. So they may sharpen over time and they may evolve, or you may acquire others as you go through your journey of life. Gifts often operate in tandem with spiritual maturity, obedience, and humility. So the more you embrace a spiritual lifestyle or you devote yourself to God, you will gain gifts as you go throughout life and learn lessons and go through these lessons. And you might go through certain events that are painful or challenging that will ultimately result in a harvest of spiritual insight and divine downloads, which only enhances the purpose that you have here on earth. So, the 12 gifts are about to be broken down. And if you don't believe this is a thing, I invite you to look into Romans 12, 1 Corinthians 12, Ephesians 4, and just blend them together. So I want to briefly describe each gift and then give you some questions or prompts to help activate that knowing within yourself and give you some examples. So the first gift is prophecy, the ability to speak truth or divine insight with clarity and conviction. So psychic gifts would fall under prophecy. We want to translate this into intuitive gifts later on that we could harness to manifest and co-create with God. That's more of an advanced skill set. This is what I teach in the Intuitive Alchemy Collective. This is a intimate coaching container that has access to me as a coach and all the wisdom that I have. And I give you feedback and guidance. And we journey this evolution together. If you feel called to join the Intuitive Alchemy Collective, I will leave the link in the description box or the pinned comments. So, prophecy often feels like a burden to speak what others avoid. This is what Jesus did in the Bible. He was prophetic and he predicted the future many times to his apostles and followers, and they didn't want to hear it. So it's the same in real life in this day and age, that having the talent of prophecy enables you to see the future with a conviction and a knowing where everything else is designed to undermine that knowing. So you have to be willing to be misunderstood and criticized. But that's what Jesus went through, so you could do it too. So where do you feel compelled to speak uncomfortable truth with love? How can we embody that Christ consciousness of profound wisdom and knowing with a sense of humility and compassion? Are you really good at reflecting to others the things that go unsaid? Are you able to make people feel seen and heard and validated? That's another form of prophecy. So, teaching. This is something that comes natural to me, for example, as a coach. Then I share my insights and my spiritual lessons in a concrete, tangible way, but also with mysticism. So, this is a strength of mine that just comes naturally to me because I love to help people, and this is what I do in my real life, my friends and my family. When I explain these concepts and spiritual wisdom. So it's a desire and capacity to make complex truth simple and digestible, much like I'm doing in this activation in this masterclass. So what do you feel most called to help others understand clearly? Are there themes or concepts in your life that you're able to articulate well? Are there patterns in conversations that you pick up on that you're able to dissect and intellectualize? Are you able to help people understand themselves? This is a strength that goes beyond like curriculums and lessons. This is also, breaking down complex topics during conversations. That might be your gift. The next one is exhortation, which is encouragement. The ability to uplift, encourage, and call to others into alignment with God, much like I'm doing right now. I encourage you to live your best life and to put trust in God and honor the truth that exists within yourself. As a coach, this is my job to guide you and uplift you and encourage you. Do you do this with others? Do you encourage your friends? Are you always the one who's there for everyone all the time? Maybe you're a bit of a leader. Do you often wonder, do people feel strengthened and seen after talking to me? Usually they'll let you know. They'll even say, wow, this was a great conversation and I learned so much. I've had people tell me that 15 minutes in a conversation with me was life changing. And I don't mean to brag or do that from an ego centered place. These are the gifts that God endowed upon me, and I use them to make a difference in people's lives and not to do it from a place of ego or self-centeredness. It's literally, I just want to help people feel good and to make them feel seen and safe. So that brings me to leadership, which is a sense of like governance, that you're not above others, but you naturally lead them and they are with you as equals. And you're able to achieve maybe like a higher purpose or an ultimate goal. And you're able to work as a team and not feel like an authority over others, but that's what governance is strategic foresight and the ability to organize people toward a common divine purpose. I was here to help raise the collective. I'm very intuitive and very spiritual and very devoted to God, so I feel like these 12 spiritual gifts I'm about to go over with you are resonating deeply within me, and I hope to be an example to you of how eclectic these gifts can be to you and how you could collect them as you go along to cultivate the gifts of leadership and service and giving and teaching. If this is your purpose, the more you live that purpose, the stronger these gifts become and the more you'll adopt others because they all kind of bleed into one another, into one unified purpose that you embody. And we're activating this right now inside of this masterclass. So that leads me to service and helping others, providing practical support behind the scenes, serving without credit, which goes into giving and generosity. Do you give to the homeless or to charities and you don't do it for clout? You don't record it and post it on social media. You are willing to give gifts and resources to others because that's how you make the difference in the world and how you share the resources that are endowed upon you because they're not really yours, they're God's, and you are his faithful servant. So if he blesses you with wealth and prosperity, your purpose is to share that with others. And if you don't feel that within you and you feel the urge to hold on tight, then that's also a sign that your giving and generosity gift needs to be worked on, and it invites you to do so. And that is the grace God gives us is ample opportunity to learn lessons, to turn away from sin and heal sin, and then to learn divine lessons that give us these gifts and help us harness them and to use them to make the world a better place and to bring heaven on earth. So the gift of resourcing others financially, maybe you don't have the financial means to help people, but you give your time and your effort and your attention, or you're conscious and observant and helpful, or you give people the opportunity to excel in life and not compete with them. So, where do you feel compelled to overflow and bless others? Which resources do you have that God blessed you with that you could share with the world? So, the next one is mercy. It's deep compassion for the hurting and the broken, like social justice and charity and goodwill, and embodying God's heart and his presence and his love. Maybe you were always sensitive and always aware of what others were going through and the pain that they felt. Mercy is probably the most holy out of all of these because it is God's mercy upon us where he blesses us despite our sinful nature and our wounds. So where do you feel called to be a healing presence? Maybe within your community or within a church or your family. Lead with that. Lead with the intention to love people, to heal their wounds, which takes wisdom. Wisdom is the supernatural insight to know what to do in unclear or difficult situations. When in doubt, turn to God, and God is just the embodiment of love in whatever capacity or whatever context. So it's asking yourself, do I often just know what's right beyond logic, like inherent truth? Realizing the Word of God is truth and the way and the life is having wisdom and seeing beyond the illusion and the veil of the matrix and knowing discernment and not giving into the temptation of Satan and sin. That you just know what's good based off of what is holy and sacred and divine, which leads you to knowledge, which is the divine ability to perceive truth or facts that are not naturally known. You just know, and despite criticism or people trying to argue with you, you know what is truth, and you don't have to argue with anyone, and there's no point in arguing because you know it regardless of what they say or what they think. So do you receive like divine downloads or like you just know and understand universal concepts and truth or or God's word? When have you received insight that didn't come from a study? Do you obtain it in meditation, when you're in prayer, when you're falling asleep, or in your dreams? Where do you receive this divine information? When do you notice it the most? How can you cultivate more of that? And how can you use it in other contexts? Maybe as a teacher or a guide or prophecy. See how these all come together, they all expand upon one another. And once you have the knowledge and the wisdom, there's this inherent sense of faith in God, a divine creator, regardless of what people say. And it makes more sense to believe in God than it doesn't at this point. Like, how could there not be a higher power that has created everything and guides us as a collective to live out divine purpose and to evolve in the universe? God is just life force moving through us all and through nature, and how we all connect and interact with one another, and how each person's purpose or way of living contributes to the collective conscious, and how that is played out in bigger themes and institutions, and how it works on an individual level. You'll have this understanding and discernment and the ability to perceive the true spiritual source behind words, actions, or environments. You will see the truth. You will see the illusion in the way that we are oppressed and enslaved. To gain discernment and whether things are spiritually based or human based will come with a discernment of spirits. Do I sense what's behind the surface or spirit of thing? It's almost like understanding energy and how duality works and how nature works and how we embody nature and we are in sync with nature at all times and how everything is connected and how people are possessed by spirits or entities that also contribute to the bigger picture. And they're not even human. You'll be able to see it in their eyes, which gives you more faith in God, knowing that He has your back. And it's extraordinary trust in God's promise despite any circumstances. Whether we're on hell on earth and we're being controlled by evil spirits and the spirit of evil, Satan is in control, this will help you understand these things and to know that despite it, that you could trust in God, that this is all for a higher purpose and that you do not have to be afraid and you are always divinely protected and guided. So that leads me to the last one, healing and miracles. God works through you to bring restoration and supernatural intervention. We all work together to heal the collective and to evolve together and to learn the lessons we need to learn for our ascension, to bring us back to God to heal us and to experience supernatural miracles as a reward for our faith and our devotion, so that you can have instant healing and then you can teach others to do the same, or you could be an example to others of what's possible with God's grace and to be a testimony of his glory. So where have you seen the impossible made possible by just surrendering to a higher power? Were there miraculous events in your life that are unexplainable, or things that you have known that people have told you you're crazy but they end up coming to fruition? Are you able to connect the dots and you're not a conspiracy theorist, but you're like, it's freaking obvious, spirit theorist? Like, which ones resonate with you most as we're going through this? I want to go over it again. So the first one is prophecy, the ability to speak truth or divine insight with clarity and conviction. Teaching, the desire and capacity to make complex truths simple and digestible. Exhortation, which is the ability to uplift, encourage, and call others into alignment with God. And I hope I'm saying that right, which is just encouragement. Leadership, governance is the strategic foresight and ability to organize people toward a common divine purpose. Service and helping, which is a practical support behind the scenes and serving without credit, without seeking credit. Giving, are you generous? The gift of giving resources to others financially, energetically, or through opportunity. Mercy, which is deep compassion for hurting and broken people and embodying God's heart and love. Wisdom, supernatural insight to know what to do in unclear or difficult situations. Knowledge is the divine ability to perceive truth or facts that are not naturally known. Faith is an extraordinary trust in God's promises despite circumstances and what's going on in your life and the world. Discernment of spirits, which is the ability to perceive the true spiritual source behind words, actions, or environments, including people being possessed by demons and spirits, or how the spirit of evil controls the world. And then healing and miracles, where God works through you to bring restoration and supernatural intervention. So, how do you identify these gifts? I want you to pay attention to where you are energized and not drained. That would be the source of your strength. Notice consistent feedback from others. Do they tell you that they feel safe around you, or that you made them feel good, or you made their day better? Do you seek honest truth to be spoken about you so that you could use it as feedback? What things are your strengths that others take notice to? Maybe people know that you're one of the most generous people they've ever met, or that you're really good at teaching, or you're an old soul. Start to pay attention to these things. Reflect on how your gift has already been active in your life. Look back on the 12 gifts and notice ones that resonate or stand out more. And the gifts are revealed in the secret place, refined in community, and activated in obedience. And this is what I'm helping you with inside the temple within. And if you're watching this and you are not a member of the temple within, I invite you to join us, where I help you tap into the divine and to help you activate your highest timeline so that you could live your purpose, honor your gifts, and share them with the world like God intended. So gifts should be activated now. Hopefully you're aware of the ones that you have and the ones that you'd like to work on. And then I'll help you enhance these inside the temple within. This is the purpose. And then your devotion to God is what's going to help you cultivate these gifts further and bring them to fruition and to help them share with others with His guidance. So I want you to cultivate and honor your gift. Gifts require stewardship, not perfection. It is something that is part of your devotion that you work on every day as part of your purpose to this world, which helps you stay accountable and mindful and present, helps you stay close to God, and it's not about performance. So you could drop any sort of shame or inner criticism because God sees you as perfect and whole as already, so you don't have to pretend with him. You could bare your soul to him and he already knows you. He understands you completely. So spiritual maturity is more important than results. These lessons will eventually turn into a harvest of bountiful blessings. You just have to give it time and let certain things grow and to work on others and to weed your garden, so to speak, and to learn to love your neighbor. That's what's going to manifest results in your life. So allow your gift to operate through the fruit of the Spirit, which is love and humility and patience. Here are the common blocks to gift activation: the fear of being too much or not enough, comparing your gifts to others or your story to others, or comparing their level 500 with your level 3, over identifying with the gift instead of the giver, which is God, and religious shame or lack of teaching around spiritual gifts. This is what I'm going to help you with in the Temple Within. So, in closing, I invite you to reflect and journal on the strongest felt gifts. Go back and really absorb the things that I was saying in this training. Pause and take notes if you need to, and revisit this as often as you need to until it is hardwired into you. And then I ask you to commit to cultivating one gift this week, the one that stands out the most, and just try sharing it with others as often as you can. This is about living a God-centered life, and He will reveal to you if you're willing to tune in and ask where you need to share this gift, or maybe you'll receive divine inspiration and you'll know when and where to use this gift, or it'll just come out naturally once you set the intention. So this gift is sacred and it's not self-serving. It's not about receiving anything in return. It's about giving without expectation or without any clout or ego, and just knowing that God will bless you when you devote yourself to living your purpose, which is utilizing the gifts that He gave you and sharing them with others. So I want to leave you with this. Your gift is not your identity, it is your assignment. Your devotion is to God, is to serving Him and being a steward of this earth by using your gifts. This is what this whole lesson is about. So I want you to start to reflect on the ones that you know are yours now after watching this training, and then working to implementing it into your life as often as you can, and incorporating God into your life as often as you can. Asking Him for guidance or wisdom or what to do when you're trying to make a decision is the best way to go about this. So I hope this is helpful for you. If you are not a member of the Temple Within, again, I invite you to join us. I would love to have you. It is in the description box if you want to join. And otherwise, I will see you in the next training. Bye.